So joining me now, Democratic strategist and founder of the National Voter Protection Action Fund, Don Calloway, and Republican strategist and MSNBC political analyst, Susan Del Percio. Hey, guys. Good to have you both back on a Sunday. So, Don, you first. We have today's new NBC poll, and it shows the race deadlocked. Harris's popularity has declined compared with a month ago after the huge boost she got when she became the nominee. How do you account for this? With 23 days to go, how can Harris fill in the blanks and address concerns voters may have?
Well, I think she has to spend some time. The people who are going to vote for Kamala Harris are going to vote for Kamala Harris. They're highly educated. They regularly participate in the Democratic process, and they do pretty well from an income perspective. I think she's got to spend some time with disaffected communities. We're talking about, the black male vote, and a lot of that is happening on the lower middle class to poorer working class black communities. They are not going overwhelmingly for Donald Trump by any sense of the imagination, but she's got to shore up that segment of black and Latino men by having some strategic and targeted conversations about, hey, listen, this is what's in it for you. Barack Obama was not our messiah, and he didn't change the world for all of us. Some of that was because of Republican opposition. But listen, this is what's at stake. This is the clear choice between me and an objectively inferior, unqualified person, and frankly, evil empire. But this is what government means for you. And frankly, Barack Obama and maybe even Kamala Harris may not be the best messengers for that specific segment that needs to be reached. The other part of the focus has to be voter protection. We are about a little more than 3 weeks out, and we need to make sure that the people who are going to come out and participate have those votes protected and counted at the ballot box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to ask you about the Obama factor in a second, but I want to ask Susan this, because this poll finds Donald Trump's favorability. That is up 3 points since September. Even after that debate, most say he resoundingly lost. How do you explain this?
Alex, it's all within the margin of error. Everything we're looking at, favorable, unfavorable, head-to-head, you name it, with the exception of probably gender, which you highlighted earlier, it is within the margin of error, which means it's anyone's guess. We always have to keep in mind when we're looking at this election, Donald Trump has run for office 3 times. He won one, he lost one. So it's pretty much 50-50 on how he could do. And it shouldn't come as much of a surprise, given how close the last few swing states were in the last 2 elections. So this is what it is. And because of that, I actually believe Harris may have the edge on this because of her get out the vote operation.
Okay, so back to the polls showing Kamala Harris losing ground to Trump among black voters. Former President Obama had some pretty stern words this week for black men who are not yet on board with Harris. So what's your overall reaction to that, Don?
I think that Barack Obama means well, but I don't know that he's the best messenger to talk to specific segments of black men at this point in time. You have to remember that nobody under 30 has ever voted for Barack Obama. And another part of this is I wonder how much time he spends with lower middle class, working class, or black men who are highly intellectual, highly sensitive. They're funny. They're cool. How much time does he spend with them rather than helicopter dadding in every 2 years around election and giving some type of chastisement about manhood and pulling up your pants, this time in the electoral context, that he does not seem to deliver to anybody else in the American electorate? Not that he's wrong, but he
wait a minute. If it's not Barack Obama, Don, if it's not him, Charlemagne the God, she's doing the podcast with him this week.
No, Charlemagne the God has an important role, but I think she did a really good sit-down discussion with Stephen Jackson and Matt Barnes on the All the Smoke podcast. Listen, I think they may not be the messengers. It's about the organizations that we talked about being excited that were mobilized at the beginning with those individual calls. Those are the guys, those are the women who need to get out into the trenches, away from the fraternities and sororities, get back in the barbershops, get in the trenches and talk to real people and drag them out if you have to over these last 30 days. It's existential at this moment. And maybe the politicians aren't the best messengers. Maybe real working class people who've been in them trenches before with real people and who are consistently in relationship are the best messengers rather than these demigods in suits and ties coming from on high.
Independent voters, Susan, they're the wild card in this race because they're essentially split in this poll. You've got 10% who say they might change their minds before Election Day. So take a listen to what a focus group of undecided voters had to say when asked if the election were held today.
The more I think about it, the more I just don't know if I can vote for Harris. I just do not trust her. I'm more inclined to write someone who I feel like would best represent me through my vote.
I just want to see what she will do because I know she's going to have to run again later. So I'm hoping she will be an exemplary president for this term. That's my only reason.
I just can't get over what happened in 2020 and what's been reaffirmed in the debates and the general, statements made during the campaign. Not just a riot, but the alternative slate of elector schemes is a bridge too far for me.
Again, no consensus here. So what are the key challenges for both Harris and Trump regarding these voters in the final stretch?
Well, it's interesting because the focus group you showed was of primarily younger voters. And if I saw that correctly. So that's a different target audience than what we think of as suburban moms as the swing voters. Who are we really saying we have to get out to? And to Don's point, if you're talking to younger voters of any race, you've got to get to where they are and you've got to talk them through it. Frankly, a lot of people don't follow this the way we do. They don't know where the candidates stand on issues. And again, it's all about that ground game. It's about the volunteers who have who've gotten involved since the announcement and really touching and bringing someone to the polling place. That's what changes elections on the margins. They have to be treated like this is a statewide election in 7 states and really just go out and grab them.
So, Dawn, there's been this cascade of articles warning the Harris campaign has plateaued. Her record-breaking cash haul could be bad news for her, and it warns of her challenges with mail voters, with Arab voters, swing state voters, and a lot more. And this new Washington Post article says the Trump campaign believes it is cruising toward victory. So is all the Team Harris worrying warranted? I mean, why aren't we seeing this kind of angst from Team Trump?
I don't know anything about why anybody on the Trump universe of things thinks and acts the way they do. What I can tell you, and I will talk directly to anybody who would vote for Kamala Harris, she can lose this election. It is time to get in the streets and find your way to engage and probably do so through the community organizations that we've relied upon for 100 years to build community. But if not, you are not affiliated with some organization, get your family out into the street and knock on some doors. It don't cost you nothing. Knock on the doors in your neighborhood and make sure that everybody comes out to vote. She can lose this election. I've spent time in Detroit this week, as well as Philadelphia. And the reality is that you can tell by the cadence of the ads that Republicans think they are peeling off just enough people to either not participate or vote for Trump. Kamala Harris can absolutely lose this election. And she will not lose, though, however, if committed people get out and make a hard push that's not going to be glamorous or fun these last 3 weeks.
Susan, I don't have a lot of time for this, so I'm needing a quick answer about the unprecedented gender gap in this race. Trump is holding that town hall this week, focusing on issues impacting women with an all-female audience. Does Trump, a man found civilly liable for sexual abuse and responsible for overturning Roe v. Wade, really believe he's going to make inroads with women? I mean, will he?
He just wants to say he's doing it. That audience is going to be packed. But the good news for Harris, if you want to take a little out of this on the gender issue, is that abortion is a top motivating issue, as Mark Murray pointed out at the top of the segment. And there is nationally more women registered and participating voters. It's just on the margins, but at least you have that. But this is just frankly, this is a joke what Trump's doing.
Yeah. One thing I can say, it's going to be a long 23 days. I'll get through it with your help, guys. Thank you, Susan. Thanks, Dawn.